Welcome to Druggy Nation. We're the bridge between everything pharmacy and pop culture. And now, let's check in with your connect and America's favorite pharmacist, Emmanuel Vogirin.
You like being from Baltimore?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I think it's
All right, nobody cares. All right, testing. 1, 2, 3. You already know what it is. I'm coming live from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. More specifically, hood-ass Baltimore, Maryland, a.k.a. Crime City.
a mess.
It's America's favorite pharmacist, Emmanuel. And I'd like to welcome a special guest in the building. Welcome, Jasmine, to the program. Round of applause.
Hello, everybody.
Now, she's a world-renowned talker and storyteller. She doesn't shut up. She's talked at Harvard and MIT. She wasn't invited to either place. She just got up and started talking. She's a New York Times best-selling talker.
I wish.
Nah. For real. How we really met, though, for real, though. I was walking back home at night from Bible study, right? And I passed by this dark alley. I saw Jasmine selling drugs with a baby on the other hand. Right then and there, I knew what I had to say.
You got the wrong
I told her she got to be on my podcast or I'm calling the cops and child services. So she made the right choice.
You're crazy.
Nah, I'm lying. She's just some random person I kidnapped during my Uber ride, okay? And now she can't leave without doing my podcast for freedom.
No.
Yeah, can Uber drivers kidnap you, though? Can you imagine that? Yeah, right? That's
They really be wilding, for real.
Yeah. Nah, for real this time, though. She's the homie from work. Give it up for Jasmine. Jasmine the Great. So, where you from, Jasmine? What hood you rep? What set you from?
I'm originally from over east. And it's getting better, but, you know.
Is it getting better?
I think because John Hopkins is, like, trying to make the community better.
Oh, you know, John Hopkins got the new gun thing where the cops can carry guns on the campus, right? I think so, right? They passed
John
that?
Hopkins got their own police force.
Wow. Are they the first private school in the country to do that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
That whole area is just changing. Really.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wild.
not going to look the same in 10 years.
That's crazy. You know what I found out recently, Jasmine? It's what percentage of Americans you think have a doctorate degree? What percentage?
That's a good question. I'm going to probably say 30%.
30?
30.
See, I thought it was, I think it was that high when I first had this question asked to me. I thought it was probably around 10. 2%, Jasmine.
2%.
America's a dumbass country. America's just dumb. That's why we have all these dumb gun laws and everything. America's just dumb. Well, 2%.
Look at the people that's in office.
2% has a doctorate. So I'm one of 2% of people. I ain't one of 2% of people in America that has a doctorate degree. That's crazy. God. They gave me a doctorate. Okay, cool. If you're a first-time listener, 2%. Welcome to the conversation here at Drug E Nation. Now, as a pill poppin' nation, this is the #1 platform to talk about the role drugs play in our society and everyday lives, all right? It's the only pharmacy podcast worth listening to, right, Jasmine?
Yep.
So we have an open dialogue about our pill poppin' nation, whether it's prescription, recreational, or illegal, and how drug use in America affects all of us. We all affected, either personally, whether it's individually, or family, or friends, etc., and within our society. Welcome to episode 5, or as they say in America, 5. All right. So we all like to have a good time, right, and party, right?
Right.
Yeah, I might still be hungover from yesterday, but I know I do. And we all at some point have gone to a happy hour, whether it's with just friends or work-related or some after-work event with people in a setting with drugs like alcohol present, right? All right. But I wanted to get into the topic for the day, the dark side of partying, the underground shit, right? In the party scene. No judgment, but some people like to take it a little further than alcohol because, that devil's drink just ain't enough sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's how we get the club drug scene. Mm-hmm. Places like New York, DC, LA, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Atlanta.
All about that life. Atlanta too, right? What poppin' cities you think be all about that drug life? Like club drugs. All over, right?
It's all over.
Especially the big cities though, right?
Yeah. I think it's all
and around the world too, not just the country.
But when you think about it, like all these small states and everything, they use drugs too.
Oh, facts. Oh yeah, definitely.
That's really not getting no really coverage, but they got drugs too.
Yeah. All right, some people might think, hey, man, dude, that's not my scene, man. I'm not saying it is, but I feel like it's important to know who you're going out there with. The evils out there in the streets, man. So get familiar because you ain't alone out there on the dance floor, okay? Mm-hmm. The more you know, the more you can control. Yeah. And some of these drugs I mentioned on the last episode 4, in case you haven't checked that out, go back and listen to it. Some of the drugs I mentioned, talking about a different aspect of the drugs. So topic of the day. So today's topic is a mix of club drugs and also the drugs that are influencing pop culture right now. Now, a lot of the club drugs, right, also have an influence on pop culture as we know it today, or some of the drugs I mentioned have an influence may or may not be a surprise to you, right? But first, what are club drugs? So these are drugs used at nightclubs, concerts, bars, parties, raves, all-night dance parties, etc., right? People go out with the club drug flow for all the same reasons most of us drink alcohol. Other than to have a good time, is to lower inhibitions, also going to impair your judgment, make you feel free. You know, a lot of times these club drugs, legal and illegal, are combined with other substances like alcohol. So we want to talk about drugs and pop culture and really talk about how entertainment as in media and also our personal environments like friends and family, how that can influence, you know, America's bad drug habit, right? Now, first up on my list is a drug used by almost 30 million people worldwide, MDMA. You heard about that? Yeah, and MDMA. MDMA. Some nicknames for that is ecstasy with the tablets. You got Molly, which is the powder form. Now, the myth is that Molly is pure MDMA, but really both ecstasy and MDMA could be a mix of any number of drugs. It's also called EXTC, the hug drug, the love drug. Disco Biscuit, Adam. Why'd you get Adam? Biscuit. Yeah, that's the nickname for it. Adam, Clarity, Lover Speed, Roll Dogs, E-Tarts, Scooby Snacks. That's a good one, Scooby Snacks. They call ecstasy Scooby Snacks. So let me give you a little history on ecstasy or MDMA. So the drug first started being used in the U.S. in the late 1970s by psychiatrists who believed that MDMA helped to make their clients feel more comfortable during their sessions because it would reduce inhibitions so patients could be able to think clearly about what they were struggling with. So it started off good, right? That makes sense. Yeah, I want to get to know you, talk to you about your life, what's going on. So that's a way for you to open up, right? Now, fast forward to the 1980s, MDMA use increased with recreational users, most notably among college students and young professionals. That makes sense. It's stress, man. You stress, man. Makes sense. Help. I need help. I want to dance, you know? So you need some MDMA
to take this edge off.
Exactly. So you couldn't go to a rave party without the drug being there. So it had a major influence on rave culture, and then it began appearing in nightclubs throughout Dallas and Chicago. And by the summer of 1985, it was all over the place, Molly season in full effect. And then, of course, the government saw what was happening and responded the same year, declaring an emergency ban on MDMA and placing the drug as a Schedule I drug. You know Schedule I drugs? Like heroin, Schedule I drug. Unfortunately, marijuana is a Schedule I drug. What is it? LSD is, I think, a Schedule I drug as well, too.
So Schedule I drug is for...
It means, like, you can't use it at all. Like, it's no... They say there's no medicinal properties for you to use that drug. So it's not legal at all. Like, Schedule 2, for example, is which you can use, but it's still, like, the opiate epidemic. So, like, oxycodone is Schedule 2 drugs. Schedule I drugs you can't use at all. It's not so out there at all. People can use it, like, as well as universities and stuff for, like, research. Like, I mean, per government approval and stuff like that. But you can't get it out there at all. Nope, no Schedule I. So because MDMA became a Schedule I. Yeah. And they didn't see any like medicinal use for it. They didn't think it would help you like, you know, as far as health wise. So they were like, what's the point of this drug? So that's why and it was dangerous too. So that's the journey of ecstasy being banned. Now, it's a cool side note. Many academics were against it and took the DEA and FDA to court because they wanted it to be rescheduled and not completely banned. And the drug was briefly removed from Schedule I in 1987 before they put it back on the Schedule I list a few months later, which is where it remains today. So they removed it for a little bit because they got, you know, that clap back from the psychiatrists, and they were like, no, I won't put it back. So MDMA use recently regained popularity with the electronic dance music scene, which is EDM culture, right? I mean, you know, you need to feel euphoria listening to that trash music, right? Or that thumping, boom, boom, boom. How people get into EDM? You know, people, you know how EDM was invented first off? Chicago.
A certain crowd to get into that.
But black people in Chicago invented EDM. But now you wouldn't think about that, right? You didn't know that. Yeah, but now it's obviously got taken over by more of the, you know, majority culture.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, facts. So the EDM scene exploded in music festivals with their hypnotic lights and pulsating music. I mean, if you're young and with friends going to a festival or concert, you can see the appeal to take something like that to elevate the momentous occasion, right? That's a major way, you think? So there's data out there that American teens reporting ecstasy use or MDMA use increased by 67% between 2008 and 2011, right? So let's talk about some risks of using ecstasy. When it's abused, though, you have an increased blood and body temperature. You get some chills, muscle cramping, a lot of sweating, and dehydration. Now, the increase in body temperature can be significant enough to be dangerous, potentially fatal. Who and where you get the product from is important, right? So MDMA should be clear, white crystals the more discolored they are, the less pure they are, meaning that they could have dangerous additives added to the MDMA pill, right? It's always good to ask friends, if you have druggy friends, if they have used from the dealer's batch, right? It's very easy to get dehydrated also. That's a major cause of MDA-related deaths, especially since people like to use it in raves and clubs and they get crowded, right, and high, right?
But don't you know, it says, I was looking on something and it came up on TV. In London, they take pills really heavy.
In London?
In London.
Now, what do you mean? What kind of pills?
So, it's called bars, right?
Okay.
But they fake.
Oh.
They fake. They I don't know how they do it, but they fake bars.
Would they have no effect on you if they're fake?
They have an effect, but it's like they alter it from the real one.
Okay.
So I guess it makes you more higher than the original one. And a
Really?
lot, like, it's like a couple rappers, like London rappers,
Yeah.
take them. And
The London rappers.
That I came upon it and I was like, well, okay, this would be a good read or whatever. And
wait, it's a bar. Like, what is in the bar though? Like, what's in the bar? Is it like what drug is in the bar? Just
it's a mix of fentanyl and opiates and stuff like that. But they make it look like the original drug, but the fake one gets you more higher than the original.
Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha.
So they take it to get them, through their sessions or whatever.
Yeah,
they just be strung out.
Oh,
it's a mess.
snap.
I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah, please send me the link. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Because I didn't know over in London they was popping.
They getting it out here, yo.
And they bomb on the street and everything.
Yeah, in the London streets, yo. Yeah, Harry and the Duchess, Princess Duchess, and them, they're out there in the streets for real, man. Popping them bars. So
it's a mess. It's bad over there too. It's really bad over there.
Yeah. So this is some risk of MDMA, right? So you don't want to also drink too much water, which case if you're dehydrated, you try to drink mad water. That can also harm you and cause water intoxication. Some people will bring one bottle of water out with them and just not let themselves drink more than that bottle. So teeth grinding is also a big thing. So it's good to have hard candies when you take MDMA. Yeah. Now, people that take it experience euphoria. It makes the music and lights at a club more enjoyable because it heightens your senses. You know it's starting to work when you feel that initial rush of happiness take over your whole body. You love everyone. You just want to hug everybody. Hey, buddy, come here. Any bodily contact feels good. Example, like head scratches. And scratch your dog, your cat in the head. That's how it feels right there.
And
they love that.
Happens because they think it's okay.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later on. Trust that. Any bodily contact feels good. Head scratches are the best, right? So ecstasy is usually handed out in a small colored pills that are often stamped with a logo or character's image. Now, these may be loose or enclosed in a blister pack. Ecstasy also comes in a crystal or powder form and occasionally a liquid. Some effects of ecstasy: you get greater enjoyment of dancing, you get distortion of perceptions, like light, music, and touch, and artificial feelings of empathy and emotional warmth and euphoria. If you want to talk about pop culture, check out Tyga's song called Molly. Yeah, you heard it's the bop. Yeah, have you heard this thing? I was watching this show called The Doctors on ABC the other day when I was off work, and it's a thing called Brie, Brieing.
No.
Brie is a cheese, Brie cheese, right?
Okay.
So like Brie cheese. So when I was looking up stuff for MDMA, right, I saw a story where these bored suburban housewives, mostly middle-aged, like maybe having a midlife crisis, whatever the case may be. So they eat MDMA, right, wrapped in cheese. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
they bored with their life.
They bored with their life, right? So these 50-year-old women just host 50. Yeah, 50-plus-year-old women. They host things called Brieing parties, BRIEING parties, where they have all their homegirls come over and pop party drugs wrapped in Brie cheese.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They
Isn't that interesting?
I can't believe that.
Your boy has nothing to do. I guess they're like,
So they got basically a dealer to give it to them.
Yeah. I mean, this is a fact. I mean.
And so they wait till they 50 years old to want to do this.
Yeah, I know, right? Midlife crisis. I'm telling you, it's a midlife crisis.
Wow. And they think it tastes better mixed with cheese.
I guess so. Then they just hug each other after that. Yeah.
Oh,
all right. So now let's get to something a lot of us have probably seen more openly when we've been to some spots, especially those upscale nightclubs. Everybody's in there, got that powder all up on their nose. So after marijuana, cocaine is the second most used illegal drug in the world, with up to 21 million users each year. Now, cocaine's a funny one, right? Because for many years, cocaine was actually legally distributed substance, right? And an active ingredient in many products. Cocaine was first used as a pharmaceutical for people with low energy and as an energy boosting supplement for athletes. Had them coked up baseball players. Yeah, it was snort that and go out there and batter up. A home run for Babe Ruth. So by the 1900s, cocaine could be found in many products like Coca-Cola. You heard that before,
Yeah.
Coke, right?
It was a Coca-Cola?
It was a Coca-Cola. Oh, yeah. You know that? Yeah, a pharmacist put it. Oh, no, it's not a myth. It was a fact.
It's a fact.
It's 100% a fact.
Oh, God.
Oh, cocaine was in Coca-Cola. That's all them kids was running around all cracked up.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's in margarine, too. It was in margarine. Yeah. And doctors actually regularly prescribed it as a cure-all for anything.
The whole nation.
Anything that bothers you, doctors say you take some cocaine. Now, you know, if you have black mothers out there, you know, you got broken leg, Robitussin. That's how cocaine was back in the day.
My God.
Right?
So they just was putting it in stuff. Giving it to people.
Everything.
But did you know meth was used for the Vietnam War?
Explain. What do you mean?
They gave meth to the soldiers in the Vietnam War to give them like more products. It made them work a little bit faster.
Yeah, like more courage a little bit, like something like that.
But it kind of downplayed because people got hooked on it and was taking it and they was getting strung out and stuff like that. So the government put meth out.
Yeah.
And it backfired because people started getting hooked on it. It was meant for the soldiers.
Yeah.
But it didn't really play out.
Yeah, of course. It never does, right?
So now you got people just hooked on meth.
So they just give it to the soldiers after they came back here and like...
No, this was normal. When they were over there, they would give it to them because when they would go out and, you know, it was time for war or whatever, they would give it to them thinking like it'll keep them awake. Keep them like on their toes.
Facts.
But it backfired and it just got the whole nation running around using meth.
Government, man, always trying to do good, right?
But it always backfires.
They never trying to do good. Government, fuck government.
Let's see if they put this out and then let's see how this works. But then they started getting all types of diseases and...
Of course that would happen, though. That would happen.
Because they were shooting it and all this other stuff.
Yep. So it's not a cure-all for everything, okay? So from anything like morphine addiction to asthma to tuberculosis and hay fever, they thought a little coke would do the trick. Then the local and state lawmakers were like, hold up now, isn't where is that? So then a law was passed in 1914 that basically banned the non-medical use of drugs like cocaine and required healthcare professionals to register and keep records of drugs they prescribed.
Okay. That
was 1914. Now, after cocaine was banned, it wasn't up until 1970s that coke resurrected from the dead to wake that ass up. All right? It first was popular and trendy with the elites of America, and then the street price went down in the 80s. So every American started using that on a regular basis, pretty much. You see, 80s culture was really, that was heavy. Like a drug. Yeah, in New York too. You know, you all see all those like shows and movies. 80s culture, the Wall Street guys, it was all about that life. So within the party scene, cocaine is popular for its stimulant properties and for its reputation as an aphrodisiac. I don't know about that. But just like methamphetamines, if you use it a lot, your sex drive actually decreases unless you're on it. So if you use it a lot at a time, your sex drive goes down unless then you have to keep taking it to actually, get up and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Some of the side effects of the cocaine are elevated body temperature, right? You got blood vessel constriction. Let me just tighten up. High blood pressure, heart attack, stroke. That's why people either smoke cocaine, just like OD and data right there. We get a heart attack and stroke, right?
Go to the heart.
Yep. And also, it actually can speed up HIV infection. I think that's related to like people being very promiscuous when they take coke. So I think that's how that's related a little bit. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah. And for pop culture references, check out Lil B songs, "Cocaine." That's a popping song. I like that.
Lil B.
Cocaine. I like Lil B. I don't like Lil B. I like Lil Baby, but Lil B is cool too though. Next on the club scene is ketamine. Ketamine is next on this club scene, aka Special K, Vitamin K, or Cat Valium. Now, ketamine is used by the vet doctors, right, as an anesthetic for animals, but it's also being used as a recreational drug. Now, ketamine is a dissociative drug, which means that a person that abuses it loses touch with his own thoughts and identity. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right?
Valium?
No, with ketamine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also called cat valium in the streets.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. So he or she may feel that someone else is having his thoughts. Oof. So he may feel completely separated from his own body. A state of complete dissociation is sought by some addicts. They will keep taking more of the drug until they reach this state called the K-hole. So completely dissociated from their body in reality, right? In large doses, you can experience hallucinations and an out-of-body experience. Hallucinatory effects of ketamine last about an hour or less, but a user's judgments, coordination, and perception may be effective for much longer, even though it's only for like an hour, but that could affect you even longer throughout the day. So that's what's crazy about it. Some people suffer flashbacks after using ketamine. Major alert. It is possible to die from an overdose of ketamine. Ketamine can be injected, snorted, or smoked. It is sometimes mixed with marijuana and smoked. And since people can be pieces of shit, right? Another thing you got to watch out for, particularly ladies, because of its ability to make the person feel confusion and amnesia, ketamine is frequently used as a date rape drug. Yeah, it's tasteless and odorless as well, too. So a person raped after being given ketamine may not even remember that it happened. All right? So side effects when abused are abnormal heartbeat, low blood pressure, intracranial hypertension, double vision, depressed restoration, which is the most problematic because ketamine interacts strongly with other drugs like alcohol, benzos, and barbiturates.
So if you take all that,
so that's complete depression. Yeah. And all these drugs can be used for bad things too, not just ketamine. All these drugs I'm mentioning right now, to be honest. Bad. Yeah, alcohol included. So it's very possible to die while drinking and using ketamine. If you want to look about pop culture, check out the Chemical Brothers, Lost in the K-Hole. What do you think about ketamine? Ketamine is wild, right?
Yeah,
that's a wild drug. That's a wild. That's a wild drug.
I think that that's what they was putting in like female drinks and stuff.
Yeah, just in the clubs, absolutely. Because guys got no game and stuff. It's like, oh, you don't want to sleep with me? I'm gonna put that fear. Losers.
A girl just got raped. Well,
what happened?
It happened in Atlanta. I don't know what type of drug he put in her drink, but he basically raped her on the dance floor.
People who was there saw that stuff?
It was a big story behind it. And she just was like, I guess she must have turned him down and he slipped something in her drink. And he basically raped her on the dance floor. How do you rape somebody?
But yeah, where's everybody else at? People are not looking?
On drugs.
Yo, we live in wild times here in America. We live in wild times.
So that's why I just don't even...
be in that scene.
Have fun anymore.
You can. Like, it's crazy.
It's not really how it used to be where you can just have fun, just...
Yeah, worry about all this other stuff.
Go home. It's you worried about somebody buying you a drink and slipping.
Worry about that. Worry about somebody shooting up a place. Worry about a lot of stuff like
that too.
That's why a lot of people right now you hear about mental health stuff because a lot of people are suffering from like anxiety and stuff because like just social anxiety in general. Yeah. People like it's
a lot that plays. It's like a domino effect.
It's a wild world.
It's a lot that plays an effect and why people use the drugs
too. Yeah.
So
that's crazy. That's very interesting. Yeah. So another party drug I want to talk about is LSD, aka acid, right? So LSD was created in 1938 by Swiss scientist Albert Hofmann. He took some by accident and found that it made him have vivid hallucinations. Now, interesting fact is that the only reason it came to the U.S. is because the CIA began conducting LSD experiments, to better understand mind control and the drug's effects on manipulating behavior for interrogating people when they want to interrogate people in prison and stuff like that, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the psychiatric community began testing the drug for possible therapeutic treatments among epileptic and depressed patients. Now, the first groups to use LSD for non-therapeutic purposes were those who received the drug from psychiatrists' friends. So friends of psychiatrists' friends. So outside of that community, the counterculture movement made the drug popular in the 1960s. There was two groups in the counterculture movement that made LSD popular. It was the League for Spiritual Discovery and the Merry Pranksters, so the name. Now, this was interesting because the League for Spiritual Discovery focused on academic experiments related to human consciousness, while the Merry Pranksters, look at the name, hosted LSD-fueled parties.
Okay.
Now, the Merry Pranksters events were called acid tests. They combined LSD with music to create vivid hallucinogenic experiences, right?
So it made them like...
you're there, you lose, you're seeing colors vividly, like you're just in a whole different world, you know what I mean? Then Congress was like, hold up now, y'all having a little too much fun. So they passed a bill to make LSD legal in a Schedule 1 in the 1970s. Now, the 70s were a wild time he's passing all these drug laws. Remember the other one was passed in the 1970s too, MDMA. Yeah. That's our Nixon era. So war on drugs, remember?
Oh,
so
right.
Yeah. It correlates to that, right? So it's like you're interacting with music when you're on LSD, and the lights are in a more more personal way, right? One of the biggest dangers of LSD use is the inability to perceive personal danger. Okay. So a person tripping on acid, trip, I'm still tripping. That song just stuck in my head ever. Whenever I say tripping, I always think of that song. No matter what. So a person tripping on acid can be very susceptible, right, to serious injury or even death. Now, also, a person who has taken LSD can experience profound depression or anxiety, even months later. Yeah, so if you take it, it could really have an effect on you later on in your life, you know. So that's very
everything has an
dangerous.
Effect. All these drugs has an effect on you long term.
Some worse than others, you know. Yeah, some worse than others.
Sometimes you really can't get back to your normal self.
Yeah, and it's even possible. Yeah. That's a good thing you mentioned that too, because it's possible to get
yourself together and you go to rehab and stuff like that. But then you still have to think about like it still has a chemical effect on your brain.
Exactly. It stays in there. Yeah. And that experience is forever going to be an experience you had. You know what I mean? So you're not going to forget that experience too, you know, unless you get amnesia or something like that.
Exactly.
Right? So it's possible to even relive the LSD experience even when you're not on the drug. Right? And this flashback can happen without warning anytime. So LSD alters your perceptions and can give you a dream-like appearance when you're in a club environment. For pop culture references, check out LMA's Trip or Mario's LSD. You heard the song LSD? Mario, LSD. You know Mario had a song, right? Grown folks know about that. Mario, LSD, love, sex, drugs.
Oh.
People probably know more the A$AP Rocky song, LSD.
Okay.
A$AP Rocky, LSD. But Mario has a song called LSD. Check it out, guys. Yeah. Little exclusive for y'all. Yeah. Only Druggy Nation podcast can provide that exclusive.
Good one.
It's a good one, right? So, you hear about this before? My friend told me about this. Something you may not or may have heard about is something called candy flipping. You heard about that?
Candy flipping?
Yeah, look at thing. Let me tell you about it. I heard about it just recently too. Now, this was popping in the streets in the early 1990s and 2000s, early 2000s, right? Basically, you mix LSD and ecstasy, right? And MDMA to create positive hallucinations. Okay. You mix LSD with ecstasy and MDMA, you create positive hallucinations. Now, when you mix them together, it increases your serotonin production and receptors in the brain, and that's how you get the increased euphoria and hallucinations.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's what the medical community calls a synergistic effect. So both drugs elevate each other's effects. Then you get a much bigger effect than you would if you took each individually.
They did an experiment on that too?
No, it's not an experiment. It's just candy flip. People just do it in the streets. It's just street stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all it is. Now, the negative part is that mixing the two can increase the negative side effects as well, right? Obviously, right? Because you have more of the drug, you have more of a chance of having negative side effects. So remember, you can definitely overdose on this, and you can have psychotic symptoms, which are the most likely sign of an overdose.
Right.
So call 911 immediately if a person displays unusual behaviors, a break from reality, frightening hallucinations, or unprovoked aggressive behaviors. Okay? Now, for all my listeners in the South, I ain't forget about y'all, particularly Houston, living that chopped and screwed life, right? I say get that slow down, slurred speech. Your party drug of choice down there in the hoods in Houston is what the streets call lean or scissor or purple drink. You heard about that before?
Yeah.
You've seen it everywhere before, right? Of course. Rap videos, stuff like that. You took some just now, right?
No.
You got a cup right there.
No, I don't.
It's purple though.
Never seen it in my life.
That purple juice? Is that Kool-Aid? Is that Kool-Aid? It's not? Oh, it's not purple? Okay. I thought it was. Not. Look at it. Let me get a little bit of now.
No, never took a drug in my life.
You know the song, Old Town Road, whatever.
Yeah.
You know the part where it's like riding in my tractor, lean all in my bladder, lean all in my bladder. Yeah. All these rappers.
That's how he came up with the song.
Oh, maybe. Look at that. Open your third eye. Yeah, dropping jewels on this episode.
Yep.
See, people think lean started in like 1990, early 2000s, whatever, but actually it started in the 1960s. Yeah. And then it spread to other parts. Yep. It spread to other parts of Texas and the South. Yep. But it went mainstream to a lot of people in the South using it exactly. That's when it went mainstream. But it was always there.
And they made it look like it was cool to carry a cup around.
Yeah. And obviously the reason why is because in terms of pop culture, you got rappers like Lil Wayne.
Yep.
And the group 3 6 Mafia, they rapped about sipping lean. And Lil Wayne's famous for that.
Yeah.
All the interviews, he always had a lean in his cup.
Yep.
Like you have it right now. He always had that in a cup, you know?
These people thinking
at least 3 hip-hop rappers or producers have died, including DJ Screw and Big Hawk from the South in Houston. That lets you know you can overdose on a drug because, you know, what's in it.
Yeah.
Get over. Yeah. So lean is a mix. What is it, right? It's a mix of a controlled substance prescription drug, which is promethazine.
Like codeine or something.
Promethazine, which is an antihistamine, was also used for motion sickness and nausea and vomiting. And codeine, which is an opiate.
Okay.
Promethazine and codeine, yeah. So you mix that. That's really popping in the streets. I mean, if you got promethazine and codeine, man, that's like, yeah, you're going to sell that. That's one of the top drugs right now in the streets to sell. So you mix that with some soda like Sprite or Mountain Dew plus ice and like some Jolly Ranchers for the color, I guess. I love Jolly Ranchers. And you end up with a purple liquid that you got in your cup right now. That is then sipped until euphoria and dissociation from one's body.
These people think I'm drinking lean.
Nah, she don't drink lean. She only drinks a lot of alcohol. But anyways, so the
but afterwards the hangover.
So the effects of taking purple drink will last between 3 and 6 hours. You get that slow, slurred speech. That's where Houston became famous for making records like Chopped and Screwed. Users also get that droopy eyes and a rough, raspy voice.
That's why Lil Wayne always wore glasses and stuff. See what's on it.
Yeah, man. Oh, you talking about that? Remember the Bronclair cough syrup?
Oh, yeah.
So I looked up a little bit about that. So this cough stuff, this lean, it's not just in the U.S., in the South, right? People are getting high off cough syrup. So I was looking up stuff for this, right? I saw a story on teenagers and the young adults in Zimbabwe and South Africa who are actually getting high on codeine-based cough syrup called Bronclair, Broncleer. It's actually banned in Zimbabwe, but I mean, it's still popular. It's still popular because of high demand. People are gonna still smuggle it illegally, whatever, like drugs anywhere. Yeah,
they drink it because it's so bad. They don't have nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of reasons people take drugs because they feel so desperate and like their life is just not. Yeah, and life is just hard, and it's like that's the way to escape from reality, you know. So a lot of it ties up with that. A lot of it. It's not just people doing it. Oh, I want to try it for fun.
They just want to be taken away from their problems for a couple hours.
Exactly.
And then when they come down, it's like, damn,
I want to get back to I want to get back to that again.
Do it again.
Exactly. So it's rough.
So it's kind of hard for them to go try to change their situation because they on drugs.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for the youth them.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at pop culture, look at Pimp C pouring it up. That's old school. And then Future song Codeine Crazy.
He died, right? Pimp C
died. Yeah, he died. He died a few years back. So it's been almost like a decade probably by now. He died.
Where he died from?
R.I.P. Pimp C. I have no idea.
Probably.
I don't think it was lean though. But it was some kind of, I don't know what it was. But I think all the drugs he used all in his youth would have affected him when he got older, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so next up we got some methamphetamines. Meth, aka speed, that ice, that crank, which is popular in the club scene because it increases endurance. Pop a couple in, you can party longer. And also, it's supposedly good as an aphrodisiac. What's up with these drugs? Are they really aphrodisiacs because you feel like, oh, I want to get it on because I'm on. I want to get it on because I'm on this drug.
It'll make me lose.
Exactly. So the downside is that within 6 months of using meth, right, the person's sex drive is dead. Damn, homie. So except when they're on the drug, which, kind of sucks. You can also get easily addicted to this too, and its side effects, and then where's that, fam? So extreme paranoia, psychosis, mood disturbances, hallucinations, uncontrollable repetitive motor activity, and stroke. This are all some major side effects of meth. So these drugs, may be careful out there with that. All right. So now what I want to do is take a look at some club drugs and things related to party drugs you may or may not have heard of, but they're out there. So let's get into it. I saw this thing called amyl nitrates, AMYL nitrates. That's you inhale it, right? It's also called by the street name poppers. Yeah. So this is it's stuff I never heard before. Now these are popular as pre-sexual activity enhancement because they cause lightheadedness that increases sexual enjoyment.
Basically,
so you feel lightheaded, you're
a new version Viagra.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. Yeah, you feel lightheaded and you want to, have sex.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's called amyl nitrates.
So are they mixing these drugs up together?
I don't know how these people, who's making these drugs first off?
Is it a combination of everything?
How are these street drug dealers getting their hands on these combinations, concoctions to make them? They didn't go to school, study chemistry.
Exactly.
Yeah, they ain't over there Breaking Bad.
And it's just new drugs coming out every year.
New drugs all the time. These one I never heard of before. So we got that amyl nitrates. We got MDPV, aka bath salts. I think we've heard of some bath salts in Florida, probably, right? I'm sure we all seen the news headlines. Some Florida man going nuts on bath salts.
That's the new one. Is it just based in Florida?
No, but that's where you see a lot of stories. Like it was really, I remember one year where it's like all the stories were all from Florida. Just people tripping on bath salts.
Okay.
And it's like zombie-like activity.
Heard of it up here before.
No, it's really like various, Florida, really, honestly. Like pretty much it's Florida.
So it's really based out of Florida.
So basically, imagine being on cocaine, like the full effect of coke. Now multiply that by 10.
Okay.
And you get Florida, man.
Okay.
What are you gonna say?
The water and stuff is right there, so Cuba could be making some stuff too.
And shipping it to Florida?
Maybe.
Yeah, because Cuba, if you go to the southernmost part of Florida, like Key West, whatever, southernmost part of it, Cuba's only I've been there before, like last year. Cuba's only 90 miles away. So think about that's only 90 miles away. So think about driving 90 miles. That's like driving from here to like Virginia or something like that, from Baltimore, Virginia. Only like an hour and a half away. Driving across the water. Flying there is probably like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely probably be really easy to do that. Absolutely. All right, another drug we have now is called Mephedrone, Mephedrone, aka Diablo. It's a street name for his Diablo. Another street name for it is called Eric 3. My favorite street name for this is called Meow Meow.
Meow Meow.
Nah, this one I wasn't familiar with at all, so I did some research. So Mephedrone or Meow Meow, it's another synthetic, so it's man-made, not natural.
Okay.
Stimulant used for its euphoric qualities. You get elevated mood, enhanced appreciation for music, and sexual stimulation. People that use it, right, on a regular basis say you get a more enjoyable high than cocaine. Because they have similar kind of effect, but cocaine is more enjoyable high. Too. Oh, very new. Oh, yeah. I haven't heard of this before till now.
Wow.
Yeah. There have been deaths, though, reported in Europe and in the U.S. that suggest that mephedrone may interact dangerously with other drugs, specifically opiates. So if you take opiates, don't take any drugs first off, but if you take opiates, be very careful of taking the mephedrone. Exactly. Exactly. Then we got this thing called 25I hyphen, it's a 25I hyphen NBOME. AKA legal LSD or N-bomb. Not the N-word, N-bomb. Now, this synthetic drug, N-bomb, that's what they called it. This drug first began to show up in 2012, often sold as real LSD, but it's not really. It's an extremely potent psychedelic drug, and those that have tried it say they've experienced a more negative experience than they do with actual LSD. Yeah, and since 2012, there have been about 24, that's 24 for my math wizards out there, 24 deaths in the U.S. associated with N-bomb. That's a wild drug. I don't know what it looks like. I gotta Google that later on and see what it looks like. Yeah. But yeah, that's another drug I just found out about.
That's crazy.
Now, remember we mentioned before about, the date rape drug, all that kind of stuff, right? So something else someone told me about was a GHB detector nail polish. I don't know if the product's been made or not, but just briefly, GHB is actually a drug used to treat narcolepsy, people that always fall asleep. But then in the 1980s club scene, it became popular as a date rape drug. Now, some street names for it are G, Georgia Homeboy, Goop, Grievous Bodily Arm, Liquid X, Scoop, and Liquid Ecstasy. These names are wild. My favorite is still Meow Meow. Recently, as in the last year, 4 students from North Carolina State University, NC State, came up with an idea for a nail polish that could detect date rape drugs. They called the nail polish Undercover Colors. Now, their idea was to give women a way to quickly, discreetly, right, test their drink at bars and parties with nail polish that changed colors when dipped into drinks laced with date rape drugs. Yeah. Smart, right? So the undercover tests are small enough to carry in a purse or wallet and can be purchased online for $34.99 for a 5-test starters kit or $49.99 for 10 tests. Takes about a minute to process, and it looks like a quarter-size medallion with a foil coating on one side.
So you just
that resembles, it resembles a mini pregnancy test when peeled back.
So when they change colors, that means that it's drugs.
Yep.
That's smart,
isn't it? Yeah, that's really good. They came up with that. So women can either drop the liquid on the test or dunk it into a drink, and the readout on it will displays one dark pink line if the drink is bad, or 2 lines if it's okay. So if you have one dark pink line, that means they got the date rape drug in there. Exactly. If you got 2 lines, that means it's okay. Right? So the students who invented the nail polish said that, quote, while date rape drugs are often used to facilitate sexual assault, very little science exists for their detection. Our goal is to invent technologies that empower women to protect themselves from this heinous and quietly pervasive crime. Okay,
that's smart.
That's very smart.
A drink that has nail polish in it.
No, I mean, it's not going to be it's not actual nail polish. They just call it nail polish thing because it's disguised as that. So, it's in their purse. So, you're taking it out with it. Like, nobody's going to think anything, 2 things about it. Exactly. No, it's not actual nail polish. That'd be wild. So for all those, quick note, for all those entering their first year of college this year, the first semester can be a very dangerous time. More than half of college sexual assaults occurs between August and December. All right, and freshmen, and freshmen are attacked almost twice as much as other undergraduates, according to the Department of Justice.
I can believe it.
Yeah, so stay safe, and thank you to those NC State students for taking the initiative and making this. A good experiment. Absolutely.
I think every female should get that. That's in college. Well, just in general. That goes out to bars and stuff. I think females should get that.
Especially if they're going out by themselves. Then they have like their,
And that's exactly why I don't go anywhere by myself.
Yeah. Go with a group of friends. So if you have, guy friends.
But then you have to worry about, in this day and age, you have to worry about your friends too.
Wow. Who's safe out here then?
Nobody.
Who can trust you? Me, myself, and I, that's it? Me, myself, and I. It's all I got.
By myself. I'm gonna go do whatever I want to do in my house by myself.
I be staying in the crib. It's me and my best friend Netflix. We be chilling.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this thing called?
Thing to do now.
I'm telling you, they got good shows on Netflix too. My show I'm watching right now is called what's that show I'm watching right now? Oh, Pose. That's a good show. I like Pose.
I watched this show on Netflix called Jailbirds.
Is it good? It's Jailbirds. I saw that. I put it on my list. Is it good?
It's so
Jailbirds. Okay, I'll look it up. I saw that. I haven't got into it. I want to finish Pose first,
it's
but
so ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look at that definitely. Jailbirds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Speaking of jailbirds, not really, but anyways, Skittles party. You heard of that before?
No.
Okay, let's talk about it. Some wild stuff these things are doing these days. So it's called a Skittles party, where these kids are out here trying to taste the death rainbow. Okay, they trying to taste the rainbow, trying to taste the death rainbow. Now I'm talking about a Skittles party. These kids are on a whole nother level. So if your friends of your kid says they're going to a Skittles party, best believe it ain't about coming back with a cavity. I'm still trying to figure out who came up with this. Like, who was the first teen to suggest this teen party? They were bored like their moms with the brie cheese.
They had to come up with this. Oh, let's make up a Skittles party.
Oh, it's definitely not invented in the hood. I'll tell you that much. We ain't got time for that. A Skittles party is when teens get together to abuse prescription drugs. Now, each kid, apart from their mom's cabinet, brings a handful of pills to the party. Yeah, they bring a handful of pills to the party.
And they just put it in something. They just grab a handful of it and just take it.
Yes. Let me tell you about it. So, and to make it worse, right, these pills are often stolen from the medicine cabinet at home or just someone else's prescription. Now, all the teens at the party dump their pills into a large bowl. So it looks like a bunch of different colored pills in a bowl, hence the name Skittles Party, right? Mm-hmm. So each kid then grabs a handful. That's crazy. See who dies first, right? Crazy. These parties are actually common. Prescription drug abuse is high among teens. It accounts for 1 in 10 emergency room visits among teens. Nearly 1/4 of high school students abuse prescription painkillers. Mm-hmm. I mean, so many common sense risks when you don't know what you put in your body, right? You can OD and die. I mean, what a time to be alive, right? Mm-hmm. What a time to be alive. And then
it's like you got the younger children growing up. What are they going to
begin into, like, in the future? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's
if this is now,
non-stop.
Yeah.
Non-stop, because every year it's a different drug.
All right, let's do a little fun now. Let's do rumor versus truth. Okay. Party drugs edition. I'm going to give you a myth. You tell me if it's true or not, okay?
Okay.
First one, myth. You can't get addicted to MDMA.
That is...
True or false?
False.
Yeah, false, right? Unlike heroin, crack cocaine, and alcohol, the research on whether MDMA is physically addictive is actually inconclusive.
Oh.
But in rare cases, however, it is possible to get psychologically hooked on MDMA. Another myth I saw out there, Coke is vegan.
Coke is vegan.
Yeah. If you're on that vegan diet, hop on that Coke bandwagon.
Coke is vegan.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
How?
How, right? That's the answer. And not truth or false is how.
But I think that's false.
Yeah. So in recent years, rumors have spread like internet wildfire that cocaine was actually vegan. Technically speaking, it isn't an animal-based product as it is made from extracts from a coca plant. Right? But that doesn't mean just keep snorting it to live a healthy life, right? It kills a lot of people that OD, and innocent people get caught up in the drug trade, especially in Mexico. So it is technically vegan.
Because it's not made.
Yeah, made from a coca plant. So
so all the other drugs are made.
A lot of them synthetic, yeah. Like man-made kind of thing. Exactly, yeah. Another myth. Like, let's say you're taking drugs, whatever, then you're trying to come down. So come downs can be cured with home remedies. So a calm down is basically what your body and brain goes through after you've taken whatever drug.
Okay.
So you think that can be cured by home remedies, whatever you have at the crib, like some orange juice or whatever, cushion OJ. Cold shower. So people have their own remedy, right? And some say all you need is a bunch of bananas. But research shows that there's no way to really avoid a come down. The best thing to do is either not take the drug or just eating healthy, getting plenty of sleep, and just staying hydrated.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Another myth. Psychedelics are a form of therapy. What do you think about that? All these psychedelic drugs are a form of therapy.
I mean, therapists do prescribe a lot of drugs.
Psychedelic drugs, though? MDMA, LSD?
Not those types of drugs. But they do prescribe drugs, though. They therapeutic.
Yo, it's a side note. It's a random question. It's a random thing. Yo, how do we know the things on Google are like actual truths, like true stuff? Like, who puts the information out there? Like, how is that true? Like, do we just believe it's true?
You made a good point. How do we know that it is true?
I'm just it's not nothing to do with this myth of truth or whatever. I'm just like right now. You thought about it. Like, how do we know? Like, we just trust Google with our lives. But like, how we know everything there is true? Like, we go to Google. Like, oh, we have a debate about a question. We go to Google. But like, anyways. So let me go back to this. So psychedelics are a form of therapy. But in the last few years, a number of studies have suggested, right, that psychedelics could be used as treatment for mental health disorders like depression, addiction, and PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. Even though I didn't mention magic mushrooms as a club drug, right? I talked about it on episode 3. But psilocybin, which is a psychedelic compound found in magic mushrooms, can, quote unquote, reset the brain of people with untreatable depression. You can kind of reset your brain. But I thought that's interesting.
Is it really a medicine out there that can really, like correct some things in your brain?
Marijuana. Just give marijuana for everything. Marijuana should just be like the medicine of choice. It helps with pain. It helps with so many things.
Some people use the marijuana oil to help their
CBD oil. 100%. 100%.
Some people use that, but it's
procedures, everything.
Yeah, it's so expensive. And some people really rely on it because this lady, her son was having like epilepsy or whatever. She got the oil and he was doing fine.
Yeah.
And they told her she couldn't do it no more because the oil was illegal. But you got states that's making this stuff illegal for them to sell.
All about that money. America's a company. As soon as people understand that America is not a country but a company, you're going to understand people going to make the money.
Everything is about money here. That's why they try to keep everybody sick.
Yeah.
They don't want to
keep everybody sick.
Yeah.
All right.
They want to keep everybody sick.
This next myth, Jazz. A line of Coke will sober you up. What do you think about that?
No. False.
False? Okay, now a lot of people, when they go out and drink and get drunk, right, and try to sober up or feel more alert or awake by snoring a little line of Coke. So although alcohol can make someone feel slow and tired, cocaine may make them feel more awake and buzzing, but both are still going to cloud your judgment though, right? So think of that, cocaine will sober someone up and can have like a negative effect of letting them think that they can drink even more, right? So now once the cocaine wears off, they can find themselves more drunk and vulnerable than before. So you're trying to sober up with some little cocaine. Let me get more awake because like this, I took too much alcohol. I'm falling asleep, whatever. Right? And then I'm good now. Let me drink some more, and then you're gonna end up blacking out. So yeah, another myth I found was taking drugs is like swallowing truth serum. What do you think about that? You take some drugs, you just tell the truth all the time.
In a way, because you know how when people say,
unless you're a real G like me, I tell the truth all the time.
But listen, but you got people that has liquor courage.
Of course, liquid courage.
So I would say that it's probably true because real feelings come out when they take drugs.
well, like life and relationships, it's complicated. Right. So some drugs can make it harder for us to tell a lie. Now, alcohol actually depresses the area of the brain needed to make up a lie or hold back feelings. That's why you may occasionally, like you said, liquid courage, you may occasionally wake up regretting what came out of your mouth the night before after a drunken night, right? Like when you see that nasty text of shorty with a big old booty and got no response. He woke up to no response. Woke up the next morning in bed just embarrassed, just sitting there, sad face. Why did I send her that? Damn, she gonna think this now?
She didn't even answer me back.
You look back on that text like, that's a nasty text. Oh, man.
And she probably thinks you're worse.
So with other drugs like MDMA, right, the person becomes less aware of how far they have shifted from the truth. So that's how when you see people on Molly, they're always saying everything is great and that they love you, right? There's also some research going on that MDMA may be able to treat PTSD. But the reason isn't like the drug, is the effect of the drug, because MDMA lowers inhibitions. So not the drug, it's just the effect of it.
Okay.
It lowers your inhibitions. So it makes it easier for people to express their feelings in a therapy session. So like I said, with that, true serum drugs, whatever, is complicated.
It's complicated.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Real interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, that was good. That was fun, right? Talking about them club drugs. Some stuff. Hopefully you learned something new today.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
3 new
drugs. That's what I'm saying. I learned about some drugs too. Doing research on this stuff. So I want to say thank you guys for listening. I hope you were entertained. Yeah, you learned a few things. Remember to like. Remember to like and follow my Facebook page, Drug E Nation, DRUG-E Nation. You already know. The link is in my IG bio. Just search for my name and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Podbean and leave a comment, okay? It would be great to hear some feedback from you guys. Listen, together with your friends and family, and see how they react to each episode.
It's very informative.
Yeah. Informative entertainment, I have to call it. Also, let me know what you want to hear my guests and I talk about. You can DM me on IG or send me a message on the podcast Facebook
suggestions.
page. Just use hashtag drug e-topics, hashtag DRUGE topics. And I'll definitely take a look at it. All right. And we'll make it happen. Again, thanks for listening, guys. Only going to get better. Any shout outs from you, Jazz?
No.
Shout out to your hood.
Good time today.
Rep your set. Yeah, you had a good time. I enjoyed it. It was fun, right? Rep your set. Gang. Rep it. Shout them out. So, now you've been great, Jasmine. Appreciate you. So remember to subscribe on Apple Podcasts. I had fun too. Apple Podcasts, or subscribe on Podbean, the Podbean app, and Spotify. All my episodes are available anywhere and everywhere you get your podcast fix. Now, today's quote from me personally, with all these party drugs and club drugs, today's quote is from the great philosopher, Sweet Brown. Ain't nobody got time for that. Remember Sweet Brown?
Got time for that. Watch your surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to my homegirl Uchi. She's a key contributor for the podcast. Special shout out to my girl Jenny for helping me with some questions I had. She's researchers at Johns Hopkins. All right. And shout out to my guest, definitely, Jasmine, for coming through.
Good research.
Thank you. Yeah. So I can't leave without saying this. It's still RIP to Nipsey the Great. The marathon continues. Remember to subscribe on all those platforms I mentioned so you can get automatic notifications when new episodes drop. Also, as a friendly reminder, right? Check out my small doses series. Each AudioSode is about 10 to 15 minutes long. And the next one I'm doing is going to be on diabetes and some really other interesting health-related news. So listen to that for the next episode, okay? Again, thanks for listening, guys. It's only going to get better. And with that, I'm out.
Bye.
All right, be good.